Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy. It's Commissioner Cooper, and it's time.
How the fuck you got me up this damn early, Jason?
It's time.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
Yeah!
I wasn't expecting you to do that. I forgot. I was going to make a clip of him doing that, and I totally forgot. Well, I appreciate it. All right, well, we appreciate you tonight. Let's go start with our introductions. We only have one. It's a duo tonight, the dynamic duo. Let's go to Greg, the Juice is Loose Mayor.
Good evening, everybody. How you guys doing tonight? Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Big OJ1, and on Instagram, Greg_OJ. I'm sorry, I'm kind of focused on something right now, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, so we're in the middle right now doing a dynasty draft, and we'll talk about that in a moment. It's interesting. It's a different aspect when it comes to fantasy. We'll get that in a moment. Just want to remind you, we are the fantasy show of the people, and time is running out. You have to sign up. I believe this will be playing tomorrow, so you have 1 day left to sign up for all of our contests. Be sure to visit tssfantasy.com today. You have the Commissioner Cooper's Top 10 Running Back Challenge, where you send in your top 10 running backs, win 2 tickets to see the Dolphins versus the Jets with TSS Fantasy. What about you, Greg? Do you have a contest?
Yeah, it's called Pick 'em Pool, the Juice World Pick 'em Pool. Make sure you dive in, challenge us, show us what you got, sign up. The clock is ticking. The season is about to start. We're about 2 days away from the season. So get your picks in. See if you can beat the pros.
Absolutely. We also have the Vision Ultimate Team Challenge, where you send in your ultimate team to us. Basically, you'll go against everyone who send an ultimate team. Again, quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight end, flex, kicker, defense. Send it in. If you win, what is it? I don't even know anymore. Everyone's been up and it's 300 and something. I don't know what he put it at. So it was
305. Freddie's 325. Mine is 307. So
that's right. You have to send proof you're from the 305. I forgot.
Right.
That's what it was. Okay, my bad. And then we have the survivor pool as well. So the Jester does have a survivor pool contest. Get on that today. Get in on all of our contests. It's free to join. So get on, join the fun, and win some money. Why not? All right. So again, we're going through. We talked about we're doing a dynasty draft tonight. Actually, Greg's pick is up. He went Joshua Kelly there. And it's an interesting, different concept to fantasy. I'm not sure if this is our actual first time that we've done a dynasty draft with this group before, and it's again, it's very interesting way to draft and look at younger guys versus the older guys. But you also have to play to win as well. So that's the other part of it. As I've noticed, some folks have gone a little too young, so not really looking at this year. So I don't know if that's the right way to go. But Greg, what's your thoughts on what the dynasty draft has been so far?
Listen, before we started, I did a lot of research and I was reading up on it a lot. And from what I gather, you got to have a well-balanced team. So you want to make sure you still have some veterans in there that's going to have some life, but you also want to get some young players in there as well. And one of the main things that they mentioned was the running back. Running backs, look at them like cars. As soon as they come off the lot, they start losing value because that's one of the toughest positions on the football field. So if you draft an older running back, like I did in Derrick Henry, make sure you follow it up with a younger running back and make sure you get, stockpile that. So that's one of the things that I try to get into my draft and make sure like me and you, our receiver core is kind of young. So because the receivers are so deep. So you got to have that balance. Like would you take a Julio Jones over a Chase Claypool? how would you work that out? Because how much longer does Julio Jones have, honestly?
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, and I noticed I'm just looking over viewing my team. I kind of went that mantra of going young, and you mentioned yes, receivers are very young. Actually, I have 2 rookie receivers. I got Devonta Smith and Jamar Chase. But again, the receiver pool is deep in fantasy drafts, as I'm sure most of you guys are finishing up your drafts right now, and you're realizing that it's a deep, deep pool of drafts. So that's why you can wait a little bit later, even in the dynasty mode. It's like, okay, there's still good guys and still young guys that you can wait on. And so again, interesting concept, and I'm actually enjoying it. I do like the fact that we can make trades in the season. If you mentioned Derrick Henry, well, maybe somebody might want him next year and you can maybe get first round draft pick that some young rookie might be eyeing up.
What I like too, and I asked you earlier, it was either yesterday or today. What I like, it really makes you put your GM hat on, because now you said you can trade draft picks. So I could dangle out a rookie quarterback or a decent running back and say, hey, I'll give you this running back for your 3rd round pick. So it really makes you think. So I'm really interested to see how this is going to work out. Like really, really, really.
Yeah, I think before if we get some time, I think at this point now it's this is our last show of kind of build up before we really get nitty gritty. Excuse me, get into our rankings. I started today already, got the QB rankings up. I actually got the running backs up and the defense up. So I still got the tight ends, kickers, receivers left, but they're getting there. We're moving forward, folks. We're getting there. It's super exciting. All right, let's take a quick break real quick. I just want to run some promos for our contest to get you signed up.
Hey, TSS family, it's your boy, Greg OJ the Juice. Are you interested in trying to beat the boys at TSS? Well, here's your opportunity. Get ready to dive in and join us in our Pick'em Juice World Fantasy Pool. And the best part, it's free. Here's the chance to win some paper and beat the crew at TSS. Sign up now on our website at tssfantasy.com. See if you can swim with the big boys. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
So as I mentioned, the drafts have been kind of closing up. So tonight's episode really is just about grading drafts and looking at different drafts that you all have sent in. We have a friend of ours from the AFC South podcast group who sent in their draft. So me and Greg are going to take a look at that. And also a little bit later, we have a special guest, Dan Mader. He's part of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. A great fantasy show he has as well. He's going to join us, and I actually asked him to grade our draft. So me and Flanders took some time with him, and he it was pretty interesting to say the least. I do know now, though, Mr. Mader, you, sir, are a Niners homer. I'm calling you out right now, sir. Absolutely. All right, so let's go. I'm going to pull their draft up. Let's take a look here. I went ahead and put some grades on. Now, for those listening, we're going to talk about them because I know you can't see the graphic. I made it a little bit earlier, so excuse the wonkiness of it if you are watching. All right, so we'll start with team one. This was I gave this team an A-. All right, we got Christian McCaffrey, who started out strong. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a little, I'm not really quite sure about the start with him. But I like Josh Allen there. I like Tyler Lockett. I even like Kareem Hunt if he had to throw him in as the RB2 if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not ready to go. Jalen Waddle, DJ Shark, Will Fuller, Jarvis Landry, and then it just kind of, the fill-ins at that point with Patriots defense. So I do like this team overall because, like I said, he can go with Kareem, Christian McCaffrey. Josh Allen's a good QB. Jalen Waddle's going to show out this year. DJ Shark as well. He's got, and I'm assuming this is a PPR as well. They didn't tell me that, but I'm assuming it is the way they picked. So that's what I gave that one an A-. Greg, what are your thoughts on that squad?
I like it. but it's a fall off at the receiver position. Even though I like TJ Lockett, we know DK is the alpha in that pecking order in the receivers. So I do like the running backs. I know you're not high on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but in almost every draft I did this year, I drafted him, even in my dynasty, because I think he's going to have a bounce back season in that Kansas City offense. He reminds me a lot of LaShawn McCoy type kind of running back. You know how LaShawn did in his first couple of years in Philly with Andy Reid. So I'm big on him. I love Josh Allen. I had Josh Allen last year, and he was huge for me last year. I'm just a little suspect on the receivers and the depth that they do have a receiver. So, but it's a solid team. They're solid at running back. They got Kareem Hunt. They got CMC, Clyde Edwards, and Zach Moss. I think eventually is going to take over that starting position in Buffalo. And if that's Jamal, I'm not sure if that's Jamal or Javonte Williams. If it's Javonte, that's a good pick at running back, rookie. But if it's Jamal, you can see Jamal getting a lot of goal line carries in Detroit.
Yeah, it's Jamal Williams. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't think to put that. I wasn't even thinking. Yeah. So again, overall decent squad. I'm gonna kind of skip around a little bit. I want to go with the worst team, the one I thought was like the worst. Let's just talk about that one. So that I have that as Team 7. This is Team 7 in the bottom left corner. With start out with Devontae Adams. Which is great, of course. And you got Joe Mixon, which I'm definitely, if you've heard this show, you know how much I definitely don't like Joe Mixon. Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, Lamar Jackson. Okay. But where is the second running back? It's Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, your RB2. And then if you look further, I mean, what else do we have here? So no depth at running back. That is just going to kill you. That is just, that's a nightmare waiting to happen there. But good receivers, but again, with Leonard Fournette as your RB2, and I mean, what else do you have here at running back? Sorry, that's a C- in my book. Greg, what are your thoughts on that one?
This is a bad team, real bad. When you have Joe Mixon as your RB1, this is set up for the disaster. And then Leonard Fournette, who's in a timeshare with Ronald Jones, is not a good look, man. And, I mean, Mike Evans is decent, but, again, in Tampa, there's a lot of mouths to feed. You got Godwin, you got Antonio, you got Gronk. So even though Mike is a big, Evans is a big red zone target, but it's like, man, I like Lamar Jackson as his quarterback. But other than that, dude, try to trade with Team 1. So you got Devontae and Mike Evans. He needs a more solid wide receiver. See if you can work that out or something.
Yeah, I mean, this one's not looking good, my friend. You might be looking for. You definitely need to package up to trade and get some depth at running back, or your team is going to be really struggling, especially during the bye weeks. It's definitely going to be a struggle for you.
I would like to know where he picked that. Was he like, I know you didn't get that. But
he's 7. So this is in order actually of the draft. I just couldn't fit it all, in one thing across. So yeah.
He went on a turnaround with Joe Mixon.
He did.
Yeah,
that's what he did. So if you look at it on the turnaround, he could have got Najee Harris.
Yes,
because that Team 6 has Najee Harris. So yeah. So
Or Gibson.
Right, or Gibson. I mean, even look, James Robinson I'd take. And you guys are the AFC South podcast, like tighten up over here. So, that's definitely a bad one there for sure. Real quick, before we take a look at another one, again, I'm going to plug one of our contests because, again, you need to sign up soon. All right, here we go.
Hello, this is Freddie the Jester from the TSS Fantasy Crew, and I'm here to invite you clowns to my survival pool contest, where the last man standing will be the king of the court. What better way to kick off the holiday season by joining my contest and winning the Jester's ransom? Go on to our website at tssfantasy.com to join our slew of contests, and remember, we are TSS Fantasy, and we are the fantasy show of the people.
The fantasy show, the people indeed. All right, again, guys, get signed up. I cannot express it any more further. You have to get signed up before the start of the season for all of our contests. Again, we are the fantasy show of the people, but we love to keep our money, I promise. All right, so Greg, we're going to go to the team that I thought was the best overall. That was Team 12. I gave them an A+. All right, so here we go. This is on the turnaround now. This is the last pick. Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, solid, right? Then you got Julio Jones. Then you get Chris Carson. So you have 3 stud workhorse backs, right? I love it. Then Aaron freaking Rodgers, right? So you got the man at the helm at quarterback who's set to have a great season. You know, Kenny Golladay could be decent. Trey Sermon, that everyone's high on him. If you've listened to any fantasy show, a lot of people are high on Trey Sermon. I am not one of them, however, but some of the fantasy experts, quote unquote, are very high on Sermon. And again, Brandon Cooks, we've talked about him a few times. The fact of the matter is there is no one else to throw to in Houston. So again, I like Brandon Cooks, at least for this season. Tyler Higbee I also like, and I love the Redskins defense. And 2 more spots down, he gets Callaway. So, like, you know, put Callaway as wide receiver 2. I mean, this is a decent, really good squad. I'm not sure why you picked Deshaun Watson. I'm not sure he's playing this year, but and Elijah Moore as well. So again, overall A+ for Team 12. Greg, what are your thoughts?
I like this team. Again, like you said, he went strong. He has Jonathan Taylor, which I've been praising him since the beginning of the season. I like Aaron Jones, and I like Chris Carson. Even though Seattle's going to be a pass first team, but they're going to get to that red zone. They're going to have to run the ball. I'm a little suspect on his wide receivers though. So he has Julio Jones, he has Kenny Golladay, he has Brandon Cooks, and Marquise Callaway could be a sneaky sleeper. So I wouldn't give him an A+, maybe an A-, because his receiving core is not that strong. Because Julio, we don't know what Julio's going to do in Tennessee. Golladay, he has that hamstring injury. Brandon Cooks is Houston. Enough said. Elijah Moore maybe and Callaway. As the season goes on, these 2 may become stars during the season. So I'm A-, not an A+, not an A+. I do like the running backs and the quarterback, but the receivers kind of scare me.
All right, so then for you, I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick. You tell me, out of these squads, who is the best of them all?
Now you put me on the spot.
On the spot, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me look at them real quick. Ooh.
See, this is what you call, folks, non-preparation and dead air time on the show.
You didn't send me this. Until late. Well, you know what? What team I actually like, and they're sneaky good. It's Team 5, right? You gave them a B+. And the reason why I kind of like them, they got 2 strong running backs. They got Zeke, they got Gibson. I know but they got the wide receiver running back combo with McLaren. And they got Miles Sanders and Darrell Henderson. They got 4 decent running backs there. They got 2 solid running backs. Darrell Henderson's going to be tough in that Rams offense. And Miles Sanders, they're going to be throwing a lot in Philly, and he's good out of the backfield. And I like Claypool. The only thing I don't like is his quarterback. He has Jalen Hurts. Wow, I just saw that. So I like his team. It's sneaky good, though. It's sneaky good. And he has a lot of Washington. Curtis Samuel, too. He has a lot of – wow. I'll give him an A because I like the running backs. I like the running backs.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, man.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, there was a few teams that had some different things that, I noticed. Like Team 6, like it's a decent team. I gave it a B-, however, because you got 2 kickers on your roster, and I just don't understand why. Like, who does that? Like, who puts 2 kickers on the roster? Do you guys pay for moves? Like, then I understand. Right. But like, come on, bro. Like, why do you have two kickers? Makes no sense. Just drop that drop Zerline, find somebody off the waivers or somebody you can take a chance on. There's also that got the team 5. Actually, it was funny that you mentioned the running backs because they're definitely an NFC East fan because you got Cowboys, Redskins, and Eagles there. And there's you can tell by the way people pick like Team 9. I love you because I know you're a Dolphins fan. I got Jason's last 3 picks: Jason Sanders, Devonta Parker, and Dolphins defense. So yeah, you're finishing up strong with the homer shit. I love it.
Right.
All right. Well, that was pretty much all we could get to as far as the AFC South podcast was concerned. It was a decent draft overall. Like I said, there was only one team that I saw that I said that I felt like I did really poorly. But I think overall everyone did a decent job. So hats off to you guys. Regardless. So I do think you guys did a pretty good job on your draft overall. All right, so we're going to now move on to the segment where we have me and Flanders talking to Dan Mater, and we're going to talk about the LSFL draft. So we'll bring that to you here next. And hold on one second. I forgot one more plug for a contest before we go.
Hey, football fans, it's Commissioner Cooper from TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people. As such, we want to take 2 of our listeners to see the Miami Dolphins play the New York Jets in Week 15 with us. All you have to do is visit tssfantasy.com and enter to Commissioner Cooper's Top 10 Running Back Challenge. Send us who your top 10 running backs will be by the start of the season, and the person with the most points will win. It's simple and free. You can listen to us anywhere you podcast and Unhinged Radio at 8 a.m. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and I have remiss to say, I know when we did that segment last night, it was late. I was really tired. I forgot to do a send-off. So this is it, TSS fan. This is your send-off. We appreciate you. Greg, want to say a little send-off to everyone because I didn't get to do that last night.
Listen, make sure you go onto tssfantasy.com, sign up for all our contests, check our rankings. Listen, Jason, this dynasty draft has blew my mind. I'm trying to make maneuvers on my roster right now, and they're telling me I can't make any moves because I have too many players. I got to drop them. I got to put somebody in the check back in with us next week or tomorrow and see what we talk about this dynasty.
Well, all right. So, yeah, let me actually do that. Tune in. We're going to, on the next show, we're going to be talking about our rankings coming up, the build-up for Thursday night's game. So, again, we're getting into big-time mode now, and we're going to get into real fantasy analysis instead of us trying to find things to talk about. So we appreciate you, and we are out.